I would like to just call your attention to something that happened just this week that demonstrates why it's so important for us to remember Freetown's why need protection. There is an act by the president which is trying to destroy the 106 Preservation Act. And the 106 was one that we utilized in order to protect our freedom. Our community of Wallace is actually recognized by the Army Corps of Engineers as the emancipated community of Wallace, which gave it protection. We were very fortunate and we worked hard to get that designation. However, because of the success of the 106, which is in place to protect historic communities and other historic sites, like the White House, like the National Mall, and believe it or not, there are laws in place to actually protect that. We're seeing that it's management of that. So we were so successful that we also brought a lot of bad attention to the success we've had. But it's not over because we can still reach back and we have these flyers here, which are QR code business from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. What we need are comments because we're going to have a 30-day comment period that's going to start. That will need the feedback and we need you to share it so that we can continue to carry the torch fighting for our free talent. But we want to just thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing our story. And I will let our director set us off with this minute. Hey everyone, my name's Rosie. Thanks all for coming out on this hot Saturday. I'm really excited for you to see the film. So Gaslit started about 4 years ago when Jane Fonda, Greenpeace, and I wanted to make a film that shows what's happening with oil and gas in this region through the people who live in this region. So a huge thank you to the Descendants Project, Joe and Joy for being in the film. You'll see we started in Texas and then the second half was all Louisiana. The other thing I'll say is the film has been out at film festivals, and really these stories are connecting with people across the U.S. It's been winning Best Documentary Awards. It's also playing in Europe. It's on Korea, played in the Parliament, and it's played in Thailand. And people are just so moved by what they see in it, but they also really relate. But I'd say these kind of screenings, these community screenings, are really what we need it for to start discussions. So I hope we can stick around afterwards. We're gonna have a Q&A with people, and we'd love to hear with you your questions and also anything else you want to share with us. So with that, we go back. I would like for you to share about your Freetown community. So I will have Rel start with you, and if y'all can each take about 5 minutes, and then it'd be great to share stories about Freetown. I am Kimbrell Eugene Tran. I am from Elkinsville, Freetown, which is in St. Rose, Louisiana, St. Charles Parish. So right now you're in St. John the Baptist, but if you were coming from New Orleans, you would have passed through my parish, St. Charles Parish. Elkinsville, Freetown is a little community that was established by a freed man of color. In 1873, he bought 4 strips of land, and in 1880, he invited other freed men to come and raise their families there. Palmer Elkins is actually a ancestor of mine. And the reason I know this is because some of my cousins, and this is a community full of cousins. Two of my cousins, one of them is here today, Ricardo Smith and Dwayne Harris. They did the research, and we have a plaque standing out in front of our community. Palmer Elkins, that's with the Elkinsville Historic Restoration Association. But Palmer Elkins was a minister. He was a businessman. He was also an educator. He established one of the 2 churches that is in St. Rose, Elkinsville. So it started out as Elkinsville Freetown, and then later the name St. Rose was given to the community. St. Rose is actually a plantation. So they gave us the name of plantation.
So about 40 years after my community was established, I mean, it was a vibrant community. You had people who did the trapping, and then my family members did trapping and fishing, and they had the farms and the gardens. Very vibrant community. For about 40 years, they existed free. They were free. Then came the reform. City services came in 1922. It brought jobs. My great grandfather worked there. My dad had a good childhood. He and his sister had all the first things in the community, great Christmases, but it also came with pollution. My dad, born in 1935, can remember smelling the horrible fumes coming from city services. In the 1980s, IMTT came. They bought the facility, the International Midtex Tank Terminal. All my life, I can remember smelling fumes from this tank barn where they stored many petrochemicals. I moved away, raised my family, divorced, went back to my family home, was smelling the chemicals, but it got worse after Hurricane Ida in 2021. So my son and I, we would often smell these chemicals coming in. One time we had to leave our house, evacuate our home, and go to the nearby town of Kenner because the chemicals were so bad that we couldn't sleep. I was connected with some folks in environmental justice, not knowing this at the time. This friend told me that I should speak to Dr. Kimberly Taylor at Tulane Environmental Law Clinic. I did that. About a week or two later, she sent an email by Daryl from Sierra Club saying that IMTT was partnering with a blue ammonia plant, St. Charles Clean Fuels blue ammonia plant. Blue meaning that they were going to take the ammonia and they were going to sequester the carbon dioxide from it and inject it into somewhere. Still don't know exactly where they want to inject. But then I said to myself, how is it that IMTT can partner with the blue ammonia plant and we're smelling these chemicals from IMTT? So I took to Facebook and everybody connected to St. Rose, Elkinsville, Freetown, I pulled them in to let them know all the information that I was being fed by these beautiful people, many of them in this room today. We had hearings, public hearings. LGEQ, the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. They would not listen to many of us residents asking for a larger venue. We took out to the streets. We went out. We told the community what was going on in our communities all throughout St. Charles Parish, showed up and showed LGBTQ we won't settle for this. So we had about 200 people in this little small library. The fire department had to shut the meeting down, so they had to reschedule. So yeah, it had several public hearings. That one with LDEQ, that it was shut down, rescheduled. They gave the air permit to the blue ammonia plant. So I don't have much more time. It's a very interesting story. I thought that our people, these people were protecting us. They cared about us, but now I know they do not. They care more about the money. We're still waiting on two more permits from the Department of Energy and Natural Resources. That's what it was. Energy and Conservation now, and also from the Army Corps of Engineers. And IMTT is trying to get more tanks. They have 216 tanks right now. My house is less than 700 feet from one of the tanks. We have about this much space between the house and the fence line. And they're trying to expand in other directions as well and bring more chemicals. So that's where we are. Gaslit, very quickly, we're being gaslit in Elkinsville, Raytown, St. Rose. INTT in a meeting told us about this wonderful monitor. It's this open path monitor that's in Richmond, California. We were excited, but that's not the monitor that they brought to our community. They bought 4 little sensors to say, yeah, you're getting chemicals. Well, we knew that. We want to know what are the chemicals that we're smelling in our homes that's coming from you, that you introduced to us, that you have in California near your small 32 tank IMTT there. So you have 32 in Richmond, you have 216, and you're trying to bring the nasty little friends, and you brought us a sensor. We're being gaslit. And they're meeting with our community members, telling them, hey, we're getting back hats, and what we're putting in your community is not that bad. But we know it is because it's benzene, all the xylene and formaldehyde, acetone. It's a lot of horrible things. Thank you. Thank you, Kim Brown. There's more information at the table right here and also on the website. There's an article in the Guardian that just came out where you're talking more about the air monitoring the fight to protect your community. I'll start out with Gail and Ms. Barbara with Inclusive Louisiana. Could y'all share the zoning issues that y'all are facing right now in St. James to protect their free towers within the parish? Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Washington, and I'm one of the founders and co-founders of Inclusive Louisiana. And I'm from the east bank of this Mississippi River in St. James Parish. My collection of Freetown, I really want to talk about the zoning, but I can get to that. Okay. So my collection of Freetown started with a lady named Harriet Jones who purchased after 9 years I was slave, 34 acres of land in a town that was initially called Freetown. And everybody who purchased land around that time named the areas Freetown. So that's where most of the towns came from, the name Freetown came from. It's not Freetown anymore. I think in the 1960s, it's been called Ronville. So for 75 years, I have been in this location on the same street 75 years, and I've seen so much that has happened in our community. That we have a school that is not there anymore. We have a post office that is not there anymore. A park that is just about vacant. So many things that I see and hear from Gaslit, all the things that we saw on that film, we are experiencing in our community. So 34 acres of land is still in our community after 150 years is still in our possession, and I am one of the administrators of that land. So we want to keep what we have. But recently we were zoned from residential agriculture to industrial in a little town called Ronville. There's not many people, about 100 people, who they say don't mean anything. So they're thinking about bringing more industry into the area where we are. And we are already full of. We have so many people, just like we saw in the film, the documentary, where the husband and wife died from cancer. A husband and wife, one died from cancer, one did battling breast cancer. We've had so much of that in the area where I am. And so we are constantly fighting
all of these ills that we see every day of our lives. So we had a vote on the armors, and it failed 4-3. We have 7 councilmen, and 4 of them voted for industry to come in, and 3 voted for it not to come in. But we are still fighting. We haven't given up the fight. It looks like, we're losing so many battles, but we are still in this fight. And this is the fight of our lives, because I can hear our ancestors telling us it's time to move on and to stand up and to fight the Lord. Thank you. Miss Morgan. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gail LeBuck. I am also a co-founder and a co-director of Texas, Louisiana. And I want to start off by telling you all that there is a Freetown marker in St. James, Louisiana. And we St. James, Louisiana, and Congress been fighting for their lives ever since then. Because what actually happened is that J.C. Oliver, who was one of the 31 people that started Freetown, he became the first black sheriff, actually. Then he became a representative to the state of Louisiana. But if you read up on what happened between the 1 year he was sheriff and then the 1 year he was a representative, the courthouse got moved from the West Bay where he was to the East Bay. And it's almost as if that Freetown, which you would consider is a Black Wall Street, it had to go. Just as soon as it was started, it had to go. And from that point on, until now, we actually can see where that area of St. James, Louisiana, which is from the Central Parish line to O'Gara, and on the East Bay from that Central Parish line to St. Michael's Catholic Church, is predominantly black. And it's as if they want to disenfranchise that area today. And they're using the plants to do. They're using zoning and planning to do. A planning commissioner said last year that the industry is a necessary need. So that tells you exactly what the plan is, because for 400 years, slavery was considered a necessary evil. And St. Parish is repeating the same shame and blame that the United States of America did for its first 100 years. So what you saw tonight on Gaslight, that is exactly what we're experiencing. The difference is that it concentrated it in 2 areas opposite each other on the Mississippi River. And that's why we have this lawsuit based on the 13th and the 14th Amendment, equal rights under the law. So stay tuned. When we go to trial next year, we will definitely have updates on our website so that people can be engaged. Because the world is watching the United States of America. The world is watching Louisiana, and the world is watching St. James Parish. Thank you. I said how I was connected to the Freetown community on the West Bay, but I did not say how I was connected to the Freetown on the West Bay over here. So there is a marker over here. There was not a marker for Freetown over on the East Bay, but there's a marker for Freetown on the West Bay. And one of those individuals who's on that marker, name is Matt Nelson. His name is Marcel Matt Nelson Sr. And he is my third generation grandfather. Matt Nelson Jr. is my second generation grandfather. And he was a constable, one of the first black constables in the St. James Parish. And he was a corporal in the Civil War as well. So I am connected on the East and the West Bank with Freetown. All right, that means you have to run for council now. I heard it. You did. Okay, well, okay, thank you all. Thank you for sharing the stories of your free times and your fighting. I know it's hard, but we are still here until we're still fighting. Katie, thank you for sharing our story across the world at this point. What was I know you started off with a little bit of your inspiration, but can you tell us more? What was yeah, tell us more about the inspiration. Sure. Thank you. Really glad to be here. I want to go get my camera as you're talking. So I had been working. I worked all kinds of film, video, TV before Greenpeace, and then I was working as a video producer there, telling capturing these kind of stories across the country, going on the ships, looking at pollution, whatever they needed me to do. But it was all short form. It was all social media videos. And it was really with Gene Fonda sort of after the pandemic, we went to film another kind of short story, but it was with John Beard in Port Arthur, Texas. And that's the first time I saw this LNG and I saw it next to the petrochemical. I hadn't been to the Gulf in a long time. I was, just dismayed at what I saw. And it really moved both of us. And at first, the idea was maybe do a series of short web videos collecting stories because they were telling me, Katie, there's so many more people you should talk to. And we also have this archive. And I first I thought, okay, sure, a web series sounds great. But what I hadn't really seen people do was try to connect them in a long form piece and start with the drilling and include the exports because it was really the LNG and plastics that Greenpeace wanted us to do. But once I got here, I learned there's so many more issues and there's so many more stories here. So I would say the big swing was to try to keep so many people in it. And the way we did that, because we shot over 500 hours of footage. What you're seeing is just a small sliver of it. But I I work with my editor to say each story has to add some new information, but there's certain things I want to repeat because I want people to really understand it. And part of it was these Black communities being targeted for this industry because I assumed that would be the case, but I didn't know until I got out there. And, we went to Freeport because of the LNG explosion. And then Melody's like, you got to talk to Manning about the east end of Freeport. And then I learned about that. We went to Corpus Christi to meet with those organizers. And they're like, you've got to see what's happening in Hillcrest. And then Mossville and all the way into Wallace. So I was really glad that people were like, it's bad here, but it's really bad in this community. And I wanted that repetition in the film so that people watching it can really understand. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. So the name of our July teen celebration, the title, the purpose is carrying the torch. So I want to use our last few minutes to I need you to share what's a way that they can help you carry the torch and be part of carrying the torch to protect your free time. Well, start with Miss Gail. We want to start with you first. Uh, Research. Anything is connected to everything. You have to connect your dots. And as you're reading something and you're interested in it, just go and research it later. Just write it down and research later. But the thing about protecting your community is understanding how it is governed, because that's where it begins. If you think there's an ill will in it, start researching the who, the what, the when, the where, and most of all, the how. And that is what Barbara and I do. We began to realize, and then we talk to scientists. Let's identify the chemicals that we are breathing in St. James. And she did it for St. James and St. John with that the Pharaoh's Kim Terrell. So then we went on and lawyers look. This you can't target a certain area and put all these plants just in those two areas and nowhere else gets them. And so we got lawyers on board. This is what you have to do. Tell your story and try to find a way to bring it to your public. Because that is the other reason we started inclusive. We knew that people had to understand you were being targeted. This was not happenstance. This was by design. And after 60 years of it, we have. Well, one thing I think everybody in here can do, because we have a different diversity of age group, we got to bring the old and the young together. And our next gen, that's who we have to target to let them know that, this fight is not just about us as older people being out here. We could be home sleeping, we need some of those young people to be involved in what's going on and for them to really see that it's important for them to be at council meetings, at planning commission meetings. We got to start with them very, very young to let them know that there's a civic responsibility and that they have to be involved because, like Gail said, our laws are things that are really getting us because we have a supermajority in the House and the Senate and in Congress and everywhere else. So if we don't get the right people in and vote the people out who don't have our best interests at heart, then we're gonna be just keep on spinning these wheels. So we have to get mobilized more with our young people. That's what I think you all can help us at. I agree with those acts. Awareness. Kim Brown, Eugene Trey, founder and executive director of Refined Community Empowerment. Restoring environment to peace. Backyards, bodies, waters. What's in your backyard? Because in Elkinsville, Freetown, it affected a lot of Black people, but it's a beautiful community along the river road. So now we have white people from the others of INTT. They get these chemicals in their homes. So it's important to open our eyes because my eyes even weren't just wide open when I started with Fine Community Empowerment. So awareness, leadership, development for our families and the youth, as well as collective action. So what I know would help me in my community would be for you to email Carlin Connor. He is the CEO, the chairman and CEO of INTT. He was in that meeting. Daryl, I think you were in that meeting. He was in that meeting where his executive assistant showed us that state of the art monitor that's in Richmond, California. So we want that open path monitor. And not only us, but if you know any of these communities, reach out to that leader, to that CEO. He's a decision maker. And tell them that your residents, people in the community that you say you want to be a good neighbor, they want the proper monitoring over the backpacks. They want the backpacks, but not before the monitoring. Have monitors in the backpack. That ain't one and gas mask. Gas mask in the backpacks. Yes, and we want we want 24 hours, real time
community accessible data. Yes. Yeah, the technology is there, it's being used, and we're not getting it here, and what they call Cancer Island. Go figure that out. We, father and I, have gone 3 years in a row when our, what shall we call them, the supermajority was in session and went and argued for monitors. Actually spoke on a panel 3 years in a row, and 3 years in a row they have got voted down. Well, no, the second year in a row, which was our representative, he didn't even hold a vote on the monitors. No, because we had Kim Terrell information and we were ready for it. So they say, oh, they can't afford it. $18,000, no plan could afford the monitors. It's mom and pop. That was no go there. That was the finance department. They brought her back to. Well, thank y'all for sharing that. Can you give me the last word? Asking, sharing with everyone where we can share information about Gaslit, and I know you said it was gonna start streaming. Yeah, so yeah, I'm very happy to share this. So, the main place to send people or to check out is the website gaslitdoc.com. There's some postcards flying around that'll get you there. There, you're going to see more about the Descendants Project and all the people in the film and how to support that, and also other resources that you can get on there. Also, Instagram gaslit.doc. It's good to follow. And then, so our events right now, festivals are winding down. We've done the unlimited theatrical run. So next up is education, which I'm very excited about. Distribution. We're working with Canopy to get it in college and university campuses across the country. It's going to be in public libraries, and then streaming on. First, it'll be on Apple and Amazon in September. And we'll see if we can get anywhere else in the U.S. But pretty tough right now to get something critical boiling gas on elsewhere. But Amazon and Apple by end of September, we're pretty sure. So check it out. So, well, thank y'all. Thanks for that. Thanks so much for the information and for sharing the love of your communities and what you all are doing to protect it. And for our next portion, I want y'all to stay here.